Well, we're on as much of a correct setting as we can be.
Awesome. Okay.
There we go. Yeah, so definitely, I think very soon I'm gonna get the second mic of this type.
Ooh, that way we match.
Well, very much it's very much that it also doesn't help that I can tell, like I can hear me over there.
Yep. Hey, we just hear double U. Faye, I'm gonna take off your collar and give you a treat to Frank. Relax. This is my dog, Faye. I almost elbowed you in the face. Stop. Stop moving. Stop moving. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. There we go. She's not my dog anymore.
You are.
That's how this works. You're so
attacking him.
excitable. Oh my God. You want that other treat. You know that it exists. I'm just going to hold you like this. You're going to hate it. Here's my dog, Faye.
There she is.
Yeah. She's cute.
All right. Well, on that note, welcome to the Tilted Roll podcast. We are dog heavy today.
Right. Brought to you by Frank and Faye. Marshall and Francisco's dogs, respectively.
Yeah.
Both of them cute.
Very.
Only one person in this room is a dumb bitch, and it's me.
So we are. This is probably one of the last times I'll have this slightly weird audio setup, which is only mattering for me because I do the audio editing.
Yep.
So
honestly, I could care less, but then again, I haven't done anything.
But we missed last week, so we are back again.
Mm-hmm.
Back at it again. I don't know.
At Krispy Kreme. I was trying to think divine. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I
okay.
failed you. Internet.
I mean, to be fair, I knew it was. I also was kind of like, this sounds familiar.
Yeah.
But I don't know what.
Back at it again at the Krispy Kreme, and then I need you to do like 3 backflips.
Yeah, and then just
destroy a sign. Yes.
Yeah.
But
yeah, so we were going to record recently,
yes.
But then you kind of just, you had a bad time at your doctor's appointment last Friday.
I had a very bad time. I went through a procedure that only 40-year-olds should go through.
Unfortunately, yes.
Life is great.
Well, hey, you know what? We're here now.
Better than ever.
Yes. And one of the things I wanted to talk about was I was scrolling through my computer.
Dangerous prospect, but okay.
Well, don't worry. I was in a good spot, or I would be fine because I was doing this at school too. So I shouldn't be doing it.
Risky, but I like it.
No, I was going through my portable hard drive, which has a lot of the pictures that I've used in my content over the years.
Portable. Porn. Yes. Continue.
But yeah. So because I was bored in class, I was waiting for stuff to go through, and I scrolled by this old picture. Here, in fact, I'm gonna try to pull it up here so you can see it.
Ooh.
That's the wrong drive. But so back in the day, I was a coach for my old high school.
Oh no.
This was when I was like 2 years out of high school. So it's, around like 2015, 2016. I think between those 2 years, because 1 year I was an assistant coach and 1 year as a head coach.
Right.
I can't remember exactly which year this particular incident was. But we were in a tournament. We were in a place called Middleton, which is nearby of Madison. Mm-hmm. It generally is a pretty competitive tournament. There's usually a lot of different schools will come in from across the state. I wish I could find. Yeah, I know.
I just saw an old picture of us, and I'm like, look at those children.
Back in our much younger days of content creation.
Oh my God, your WoW text gift.
Oh, dude, this has so many pictures on it. Like, there are so many old and new. Yeah, we crossed by the classic from an old episode of ours that has the XFL player Big Daddy.
Oh my God.
We scrolled by that one. That one's newer. This isn't sorted by date, and it probably should be.
I just saw Tracer's ass, and I was not disappointed.
That was from an old vlog where I was kind of mocking the whole. I don't know. It was just like a fake Overwatch ad, but it was kind of funny.
I see you on a shovel knight. Like your head superimposed
Dude,
onto Shovel Knight?
I had a number. Well, I did a gameplay in that one when I don't remember. I think it was on the Wii U. But yeah, so that one was. God, yeah, I was gonna say the hard part is now finding it. But they'll give the pretense of this story. As I think I'm gonna actually just switch it to sort by date rather than name.
There we go. In the meantime, while you're trying to find out, I went to a wedding last Saturday.
Yeah, we went to our friend Mitch's wedding.
Yeah, his wedding after being married.
Yes.
Yeah.
For those who probably don't know, which is everyone.
Yeah.
Our friend he got married to his wife, kind of, I guess you could say, unceremoniously, or rather quickly, just
last year.
Yeah, last year, and this was because she was going to be moving back to her home country because she was an exchange student when she was here for college. You know that. And before anybody wants to make the joke, haha, they're just a quick hitch. I remember that Ryan Reynolds movie, which I forgot the name of.
Right. Likewise.
No, these two are definitely like always, like especially Mitch was always like head over heels with her for sure.
Oh yeah. And
they're a great couple.
Yeah. So they had their reception today, a year later, and I went there because it turns out that they were under budget, so they were like, "Hey, Francisco, you can come now."
Yeah, I was going to go, but more unfortunately for that, I was actually very happy to go. I was in Madison once again for here it is.
You found it?
Yes. I went to a Wisconsin Badger game. So that was really fun. That was my first Badger game, which was really exciting. And because it was a giant smattering of the Michigan State Spartans.
Right. It's even though you're clearly displaying your
yes, my Jets.
Yeah,
my Jets shirt, because we got that one win finally.
Listen,
that was very exciting.
Yeah, this is why.
How about them Cowboys?
This is why Marshall and I are friends. We're both fans of terrible teams. He has Jets. I have the Bears. It's good to be self-aware.
Nobody has anyone to blame though for the Bears failing so far.
The Mafia. Bears. Yeah, we know about the Mafia. It's always the Mafia. It's this grand conspiracy. Jay Cutler, I'm coming for you.
He's not even the quarterback anymore. He hasn't been the quarterback for the Bears for like 3 years.
It's because I'm doing my job right.
No, what's funny for me at least is calm down. You left for the Marines, and Jay Cutler was your quarterback. You came back; he was no longer your quarterback.
They say correlation does not mean causation, but in this case, the implications.
No, so we finally found the picture, which I'll pull it up now. Now that I can have Franny look at it here.
Oh, who are these children?
So these are two of my students. For that matter, we'll probably slightly blur their faces. But they were pretending just to take a picture of them. What they were really looking at is in the background. There was me, this other judge who was helping me out. I think this was when I was a head coach. And this man who is very sternly talking to me.
Why was he sternly talking to you?
So I had a round with his students. When you're a debate judge, you kind of give you kind of lay out a paradigm of how you are going to look at everything in the round, right?
Right.
How you vote, what are the topics you typically vote on, what matters to you the most, and then it's up to the students generally then to go to your paradigm, right? To debate and discuss in a way that matches how you like to vote on the round.
Yes.
They did not do that in the slightest. His students, I think they were from like all the way up in La Crosse or something. Might be wrong, but they traveled a good amount. But they're a very talented team, like for sure. Like, because then debate, you're a team of two people,
right?
And then you kind of just debate either side, if depending on the type of debate you were. I was traditionally, like, for me and my style, I was traditionally from a much slower style of debate. Goody.
I'm gonna pick you up.
I was from a much slower style of debate than I was doing that day, but I had to judge this varsity higher speed style of debate morally out of necessity rather than out of out of preference because it was easier to put newer, less seasoned judges that I had, which were often parents, in the like slower style of debate that I did in high school. So because of that, like I was always I would go to the varsity kind of higher speed type of debate.
Right.
So yeah, but I usually liked, and I didn't care if they spoke really fast. What I cared about is if their actual speech was like a little slower, like, because kind of the thing in debate is like you'll read like the tagline of your article and evidence. Right. And then you'll like blast through the like bulk of what the evidence is actually trying to say. So arguably you could say like, well, why would you want the actual stats and figures to be, sped through, but only like this headline, which could be, it's like a clickbait title, only go by that. Like it's like trying to operate only by BuzzFeed clickbait titles. Like that's not a good way to live.
Right.
But obviously then it just comes to your opponent then doing a good job of saying, hey, they're making this crap up. Like, so obviously then I don't really care. And I've been in debate, I was in debate all through high school. So like, I know what the deal is. I'm not going to just like pretend like it's suddenly different now. But what I cared about was them actually making their arguments relatively coherently.
Right.
My idea is that you can say less with more, or you can say more with less. So, don't try to just like spout 600 words a minute at me when you're trying to make it up off your head, because you're going to stumble. You're not going to make these, like, you're going to be doing a lot of like it's like you're not going to talk coherently, where instead I would rather you just speak them slowly. So I was very clear about this, and it was funny because the other team actually very I guess you could say like choosingly were forcibly like trying to make themselves into my style. Like I could tell like they were trying to do it, but these girls were not.
Oh.
So I gave them a loss, and like at one point, and I've had a judge do this to me too. So like this isn't new, and I've had and a number of other people have had this happen to them, where they're in like their last speech. It was the last speech of the round, and they were just blasting through it, and I just threw down my pen. For like my notes, and I closed my laptop that I was also using for notes and times. I just closed it, and I just sat there. And watched them run away with their loss. And they did not appreciate it. But like when I like told them like, hey, you lost, this is why. And it was for everything, that I just said. They again were not appreciative and weren't super happy with that. So they went to their coach, and I guess another one of my judges had given another one of the school, or like teams from that school, a loss just in the same like round. And even though I think one of my novice judges like gave their freshman a win, he was somehow coming to me then like with this complaint that like he was like threatening to complain to the tournament that like I was telling my judges to make his teams lose, and like why would I make them lose just for that. And I told them I essentially told them like it's not my fault if they don't like do what I say I vote on. Like if I clearly tell them I vote on this is what I vote on, and I don't like this type of speed in this type of place, I only like it in your evidence, and so don't do that, and I will throw you out of the round, essentially. Like I'll give you a loss.
Wait, get that out of your mouth. 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 What do you eat? What do you eat? Don't eat that.
What was it?
It was that wrapper that she spit out over there.
From the Energizer, from the batteries I got to replace my Pokemon Gold.
Oh, God. So, Faye, you're not going to be here the next podcast because you're probably going to die from uranium. Oh, is it plutonium? It's one of the two.
So yeah, no, I gave him a loss, and yeah, he was very, very stern, and he actually did go ahead and give the complaint. However, what he didn't realize was that we have a track record for being that kind of conservative judging style in our entire school. So they were like, are you really? And they're like, and the person who was like the head of the whole of the state debate association,
right?
They're just like, I'm assuming you're not. But he's like, just if anything, maybe just be like a little clearer about it or whatever. Like it was like, yeah, fine. But yeah, there was like not nearly the repercussions that he wanted. Like we had a whole conversation together, like where it had to be like the three of us, and I was just like, I mean, I told you this in person, man. Like, but like I like got very stern with him because I think he was trying to like come to me like very like stern,
Right.
and I think he was trying to intimidate me because he knew I was young.
Right.
He was a young coach, and he was you know, boomer man, and he was probably thinking I can intimidate him if I start yelling at him. What he didn't know is I ain't no bitch. And I yelled, right up yelled back, and that's why they took this picture, because they could see that they could probably hear me every couple times. One of my other judges is the one in the corner there, right in the edge of the frame. She kind of came back because she was the other judge that was supposedly, you know, forcing loses on their team.
Oh man.
Yeah, and she was like, no, they just sucked. Like, I don't know what you want to tell me. They lost. That's what happens, man. It was that was a really funny day. But so finding this picture again brought me back. That was a really just funny, like, experience of, like, having to defend my integrity as a coach.
There we go, man. Proud of you. Well, I'm glad that boomers like to yell at you.
Yeah, just like the ones in McDonald's drive-thrus that say if we record, they'll sue us. That's a classic story from our first UMaCon trip.
Paw, Michigan.
Yeah, good old Paw, Michigan.
I drove by Paw the other day to
Oh,
go
really?
to my
Yeah, that's right.
Because, Jesus, I'm a disgusting monster, gentlemen. But I was driving to my little sister's place. A 4-hour drive, mind you. I hated every second of it. I don't know why.
I mean, it's 2 hours less than going to UMaCon.
True, but that I can tolerate. I guess I know I'm going to have fun.
What, and you weren't going to have fun going to see your sister?
I was, but I felt like...
Doesn't sound like it.
That's
Good
fair. All right, yeah, you did. But I saw the sign for Paw, Michigan. I'm like, oh, god damn. I remember that place. That McDonald's wasn't even that good. Did you realize there's a Climax, Michigan?
No, and it sounds like, I imagine if you tried to make any type of joke in and around that city, they have all heard it already.
Yes, most likely.
I really bet that's one of those things where it's just like, yep, we've heard it before. Like, just give it up. Like, come on, we know.
I'm going to tell our friend Dylan about it. Maybe he doesn't know. Dylan lives in Michigan as well.
I imagine he's heard about it.
Most likely. But yeah, Climax, Michigan. Great place. Just like hell. Michigan has all the fun named cities. I just realized this.
Go to hell. I heard fine. It's like a 20-minute drive.
That only works if you live nearby.
I know.
Otherwise, for us, it's a 6-hour drive, and I hate it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was gonna say I'm not crazy about the drive to UMaCon either, but man, so the story for at least Paw. So yeah, we were going to UMaCon.
Yep.
And I was this was especially when I was more on like doing vlogs and stuff.
Yes.
It just kind of had a different style then. We wanted to do, like, we were kind of on the way. It was me, you, and your sister.
Yep.
In the other car, which had Nick, his sister, our friend Nicholas, and I think it was just our friend Brenda.
Okay. Aaron didn't go that day?
I don't remember. I don't believe so, no. But I'm not 100% sure.
Fair.
So yeah, we went on that trip, but they are ahead of us. So they stopped in Paw, Michigan, and went to the McDonald's. So for some reason, then they wanted to have the bit of like being like, "Wow, I love Paw, Michigan." Like I don't know what spawned it. Really, even to this day, it's just for some reason that was the idea they had, and they thought it'd be really funny if we did that too.
Right.
So we were gonna do that.
Yep.
Because we were kind of hungry too, anyway. So
right.
it's fine.
Yeah.
We did that, and he is holding just his camera phone, and he's just pointing it at me, right? And then so the other girl, she kind of puts in. I think she kind of notices. I'm like waiting for her to come back with the rest of the food. Like she had handed us the drinks or something, or I think I had to pay at the second, the one window. There's a one window for everything kind of thing. So the woman just kind of did it. She was just kind of a younger girl, and then all of a sudden, like the manager busts out, like, "Are you recording? Because this is private property, and if you are recording, we can sue you." And then we were like, obviously, just to make it simple, we were just like, because I could have just been like, "No, that you can't." First of all, I'm in my car. No. Second of all, you're an idiot.
I appreciate the dramatic pause.
Yeah,
right
I know.
there.
So, but obviously, it's just easier just to be like, no, he's just got his phone out. Like, I don't know what's up. Like, I just kind of wanted to give her like "you're crazy, lady," which she really was anyway. But that's besides the point. So yeah, like that was the crazy, because yeah, you were trying to record that.
Right.
That was to be fair, yours wasn't very conspicuous either, because you had like the leather flip phone case, which so it was just like this, just kind of like holding it like this, and just like, yeah, I'm totally not recording anything.
Yeah, no, I remember that case. Good times. Good times. But yeah, that was our experience in Papa, Michigan. Going back to the wedding, Nick and I spent most of the wedding trying to hook this one guy at our table up with someone at the wedding.
Keep going.
Okay.
I don't know why you're stopping.
I thought you were about to say something.
No.
But yeah, no. It was Nick, myself, my girlfriend Celeste, who you're aware of, and then Nick's date, person we'll call date number 1.
Yeah, okay.
She has a name, and
That's
she's
an original.
Yeah, she has a name, and she's a really nice lady, but I'm not sure she's cool enough for us to mention her on here. But anyways, the guy we're talking about, right? The guy we're talking about, I'll call him David. David is someone that Nick knew from Carroll, the college we went to, and someone that Celeste swears she knows but cannot place. But anyway,
Even after being there for how long?
right? But it started because it was us 5 and then 3 other people who were relatives of Mitch, and it was one lady and then a wife and a husband. And the one lady kept talking to David, just like hitting him on the side, like playfully. Then once they all left to get food, we all looked at him like, "Dude, she's like putting the moves on you, man."
You gotta smash.
Right? Nick was the one that said that, in true Nick fashion. And
of course.
And he's like, "What? No." He was
right.
The full nice guy experience with this guy.
Yeah, no, she's just being nice,
Right.
which, to be fair, is a good way to go. For the most part.
Right.
Sometimes people are just nice to you.
That's true. But then from that, we diverged to him trying to get him with this one girl in a black dress to try to dance with her at first and to see if they can get together. We succeeded somewhat.
Somewhat.
Yeah, as in they danced together and they slow danced together. And the guy who was trying to get with her too, we cucked him at one point.
How did you do that?
Because there was also another guy trying to get with this girl.
Okay.
And he's just repeatedly
The same girl.
Yeah, it's the same girl.
Okay.
Yep.
Got it.
And they were trying to repeatedly. He was trying to repeatedly, dance with her, or just stay near her. And at one point, when he went off to get food, a slow song started playing, and we all looked at David like, "This is your chance, go!" So we all.
This is your moment.
Yeah. So we all pushed him in the way. Then we all, each couple went their respective route on the dance floor. We were dancing together. We all started turning. Nick and I turned at the same time to face inward, and we see David dancing with the girl, and Nick and I are like, "We did it! We did it! Be cool, be cool! We did it! We did it!"
All right.
But and then Celeste and date number 1 also did the exact same, something similar.
Okay.
Although Celeste hit me more, and I kind of like
I'm
it,
sure
so I
you-
let her do it.
Okay, we've learned something.
But But yeah, no. Then after that, unfortunately, the other guy got next to her too. And then as Celeste and I were leaving, we saw them walk with other people into the hotel because it was taking place in a hotel room, or in a not in a hotel room, but it was taking place at a hotel. But it looked like they were going to a hotel room. Celeste and I looked at each other disappointed and were like, "It's over. We tried."
It's over.
Yeah, poor David.
What is that? Mission failed.
Exactly.
We'll get him next time.
Exactly. And then Dave, before we left though, David was like, "So is this kind of like we meet at a wedding one time and we never talk to each other kind of thing, or do you still want to be like acquaintances?" And I put a shoulder on his hand, knowing that he would say that, and I said, "I already sent a friend request, buddy." And I did. I looked at his name on the table, went to Facebook, found him, mistakenly sent a friend request to another person, sent it to the right person, and I had it ready for him.
You rescinded the incorrect one, right?
I'm just saying I made friends with 2 different Davids that day.
No. That's how you wind up in trouble.
That's
one
true.
way or another.
But we have high hopes
That's how you
because
end up on a list.
because while I was looking at David as he was going on Facebook, because he was like, "Oh, really?" He pulled out his phone to like double check me to call my bluff. I won, but
well, yeah.
I saw that Mitch's sister had sent him a friend request. And I'm like, that was one of the prospects.
Wait a minute.
This kid's going far.
We've got an alternative situation here. It looks like he's got more game than we gave him credit. Over.
Right? I'm about to burp.
I was gonna say it's never good because sometimes I have to do to do that I had to do like a slight audio shift on the side, but there's no even way for me to go over there and like do it.
Not yet, anyways. Get ready for the retractable desk thing.
To be fair, this desk was built as simply as humanly possible, and it's likely going to stay that way.
I like it though. It's nice, long. Is it sturdy? I don't know.
Yeah, these are thick like wooden legs that we've placed in there. I chose recently I built this desk with my dad. Because my mom, like forever ago, she had bought this countertop that is currently the desktop of this. And so she bought it because she wanted to maybe put it into our bathroom upstairs because it has this ugly olive countertop, which, yes, is not very pleasing to the eye.
Right.
So I guess she didn't want to do it, or maybe it wouldn't fit. I don't know exactly what it was. But then she was set up like, okay, well then why don't we just have it be why don't we just find a way to, make a desk out of it for you? Like either by just using these file cabinets that are just in the garage or something, and we'll just prop that up and maybe get another leg. But I was like, I mean, the file cabinets are really not the greatest function.
Right.
Or at least the form, maybe. They have a lot more function, but there's less form. And then we still have to get the other 2 legs anyway, which is a whole thing. So we kind of stalled on it for a long time until last week. My dad was off. Both of my parents were off on a Tuesday because they had to get Frank his last heartworm shot done.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he. They were home for the rest of for all day. So we just kind of went up together and we were like, all right, well, why don't we just find a way to, why don't we just go to Home Depot, get some wood.
Why did you say it like that?
I don't know. It's because it's the Home Depot. we gotta get the wood at Home Depot.
You guys should have called me. I get a 10% discount there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, look at that.
But that's the thing is because when my mom found this, she got this countertop at IKEA because it was on sale, I guess, for like $15. Because what a lot of people do for their desks, they'll get the wooden slabs or essentially countertops or tabletops that they sell, but they'll be the wooden ones and they'll be $100, $150,
right?
Something like that. And to be fair, that sounds like a lot, but a lot of nice desks that you get are like, especially new, are like $300 and plus, right?
Yeah,
Like
that's true. Mine was 200.
yeah. So like, and that's the thing. Like so because we just found this countertop on clearance and it's wood. It's not like it's a nice countertop. Like it's still wood. Um, it just has like the countertop look on top of it, which I don't mind.
Right. Goes really well with everything.
So and that's the thing. So then we just got wood for the legs. Like we just got one. I think it was a 10-foot. I want to say it's just like I don't know, probably like 2 or 4 inch, like thick wood, square wood. I don't know. This is where my my hardwood expertise is clearly
all
showing.
he knows is it's thick.
Well,
with a
and
K.
so that was the big thing though. Was we were originally just gonna get a 48 inch long one, or like an 8. Sorry, not 48 inch. I was thinking of another part of the measurement, but we were gonna get 8 foot. Like essentially, I guess you could just call it a pole.
Right.
But instead we decided to get the 10-foot one so I could have a little more height than I was planning to have, because a lot of desks actually are pretty short.
Okay.
Like shorter than our old one. Like our old one was pretty tall.
Right.
And the way it was curved, like also just was terrible for like ergonomics.
Oh man, ergonomics.
Well, like because it was like curved,
Yes.
so you couldn't. Your like where you would rest your hand or like wrist for the keyboard, you would have to put it really far back.
Mm-hmm.
But the posts for the monitor stand then was too thin, so it just like didn't. No part of it worked well with each other because of how not long it was, and then how curved it was. You went too far into the desk, so you had to pull the keyboard out. But then your wrist would always be like resting on the edge, which isn't good. So it was terrible, like ergonomically, and it was too tall. So I always had to have my chairs like at the highest elevation, which also isn't good for ergonomics either. Especially if you're not getting like good reach onto the desk because of that.
Right.
So there's a lot of bad about it. But so now that we have this, it works really well. We just braced it all together. So instead, like we built this desk for essentially like $75.
There we go.
It's like, so building your own desk is a great way to go. You don't have to, like, if I want to think like storage, like I could do what a lot of people do, which is get the Alex cabinets from IKEA as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of people either get 1 or 2 of those and put them on like one side of the desk. Like Achievement Hunter actually does that.
They do, don't they?
Their white desks are the Alex cabinets, and then they just get a really simple countertop that's not this long, obviously. Right. But then they just get 2 poles, and they just drill them in there.
Huh.
So those ones are probably not, they're clearly expensive, but they're definitely not as expensive as just getting really nice desks are.
Right.
But what's nice about this one is the one we made, is I was able to cannibalize the old one for its monitor lift. And then so at some point we're just gonna get a wider like platform for the monitor stand itself to actually be, because when we show the picture you'll see that both of the monitors are kind of hanging off a little bit, not by much at all to be dangerous, but
it's fair.
It's
fine. It looks good.
I would rather them have a little bit more space though, so if I could get a little more room on either side, it would be nice. So that's the thing, and then it's just a really cheap shelf.
Yes.
Like just find the shelf from something that's longer, and then just take that one off, screw it in, and we're good.
Just screw it in.
Yeah, just screw it right in there.
Yes. But yeah, that will take us right up to the end of the podcast, man.
Oh, yes, it will.
Welcome back.
Yes.
Oh, wait, shit. That's the beginning. But yeah, thank you guys for joining us.
Yes. What?
You usually do this.
Well, yeah. Well, so we'll just be back next week.
Yeah.
Hey, make sure you are checking out our Extra Life stuff. We recently reposted the end segment of it, so that you can see like the whole sequence. We're also going to be putting up kind of like a small little update thing soon, for just kind of get a ley line of like what we're doing. And then one of the things we do need to do is we do need to set up a really good actual like channel intro for this. So that's also another thing we're planning. But otherwise, everything else is still going. And so we'll see you next time.
Yep. Thank you for joining the 3 of us. Marshall, myself, and my dog.
Who's not here?
She's right there. Hey, cutie. She's scared now.
She's behind. All right. Hold on.
Welcome back. I'm already getting my words mixed up. Welcome back
we're
to
a girl now.
Right? I'm like, I've been listening to him for a while, so my bad for the Freudian slip. But yeah, welcome back to the Tilt the World podcast, where we start with porn, go into computers and technology, and then we end with porn.
How is it